2000 here. I already been talking about the Exorcist a few times, but I want to talk about my five favorite scenes from The Exorcist, written by William Peter Blatty and directed by the late great William Friedkin. Rest in peace. He recently passed away 2 weeks ago. Great director from this film, The Exorcist, to French Connection, to Rampage 1987, to To Live Free and Die in LA. Great film, and The Hunted with Benicio del Toro and Tommy Lee Jones. Badass thriller film. But on I wanted to talk about my five favorite scenes from the film that I felt stands out in the film. Yeah, The Exorcist is from 1972 or three. I mean 1973. My mistake. Written by William Peter Blatty, directed by William Friedkin, starring Max von Sydow, Ellen Burstyn, Lee J. Cobb, Katie Wynn, Jack McGowan, Jason Miller, and especially Linda Blair as Reagan. This is a great film. A lot of impactful possession scenes and great acting. Definitely a powerful movie. But yeah, I have five favorite scenes that I liked from this film. Number five is going to be the scene that's in the director's cut, or version you call it, the version you never seen. I like the doctor scene where Reagan is being checked up and they're trying to find out if she's sick or anything. But there's like some eerie parts, especially when she's getting examined and she sees her eyes opens because she sees like a flash of Pazuzu's face like staring at her in a dark room, like very creepy, flashy part. And also you could tell the possession is getting into her because she's like pushing the doctor out of the way, like I don't want it, and she starts like wandering around making weird noises and like shit, it's getting crazy. And then the doctor explains to Chris like what's wrong with her and stuff, and she even says that he cussed her, she cussed at him out loud, and it's just like very impactful shit. Definitely like that scene. I feel like it's really missed in the theatrical version, and it's only seen in the extended version and that version you never seen. I just feel like it's a scene that needs to be in the film automatically. It's a really good scene. Number four, my fourth favorite scene in the film is when Karras visits his mama in the mental hospital. It's a very fucking sad scene. I kind of tear up with that scene. Like, so fucked up that his stupid ass uncle sent his mama to a fucked up mental place. And yeah, his uncle seems like an ass throughout that scene. Like, oh, should we put her here so the doctors can fix up her leg? He just seems like an ass towards Karis. Like he didn't give a shit. He just put her in a fucked up place, and it's so fucked up that he didn't even call Karis when she was like getting hysterical. Like like it just sounds like the uncle's an ass throughout that scene, and he even makes fun of his priesthood and doesn't want to visit him. You can even tell Karis even stops for a second, like before he goes in. Like you can tell he says like, "What the fuck did you even come with me for that shit?" But I like the scene where he's like going into the high mental place, and you could tell it's such a fucked up place. Like the other mental patients are even like looking at him and trying to see if they could be free from him because he's a priest, because he has the collar and stuff. And he pushes him away, and then another mental patient jumps on him and wants to be free and grabs his collar. And then he goes and meets with his mama, and you can tell the pain that he feels with seeing his mama in a fucked up place, and she blames him for putting her there, and he was never the one that put her there. It was the fucking Uncle John that put her there. That's the one that should be blamed, is Uncle John. And she is it because she could tell she's in pain and she's confused. She doesn't know what happened, and she cusses him out, like shaming him in Greek language, and he's like trying to tell her like, "I want to take you home, Mama." It's such a painful scene. I just like that scene. It's just great acting by great acting by Jason Miller. He was fucking Karis. I'm glad he was picked as Karis. And then he goes and shits on his uncle like you're fucking asshole to send my mama to like fucked up mental place. I just like that scene. It's just such a very emotional scene. And my third favorite scene in the film is got to be the bed scene where Reagan gets her bed shaken. I like that scene. It's just first the first build up is when Chris has their party and then Burke Dennings is getting drunk, calling Carl a Nazi and shit. But he said that he swears he's not German and shit. But all in all, he's fucking around with Carl. Then they get into a bit of a scuffle, and she checks on Reagan. And after she walks out to see if Reagan's asleep, Reagan opens her eyes creepily, and then Chris and Sharon escorts Burke out of the house because he's getting drunk and he has to go home. And then when they go to the party. Rest of the parties goers that are singing at the piano, and then they sing, and then Reagan comes out from her bed, and then she says to the astronaut, "You're gonna die up there." And if you guys remember that character, the astronaut that he keeps seeing, and then she says, "You're gonna die up there," that's the same character. That's that's called Billy Cupshaw. That that character would reappear in freaking Blatty's film, the ninth configuration. Yeah, that character did see. Yeah, you see that he's an astronaut. He was about to go to he'll go to space, but he aborted the mission because he got crazy and had a breakdown. So he went to a mental hospital for veterans and stuff. Yeah, that's what happened to that character. Why she was saying you're gonna die up there. But yeah, everybody freaks out when she pees, and Chris picture brings her to her room to clean her up, and then about to leave, she leaves and about to talk to her housemate Willie, and then she hears a scream, Reagan screaming, calling her out, and when she's running, there's a little light that's in the hallway flickering, very creepy, like the devil is fucking around, like he is messing with them, and he does. He messes with Reagan's bed and moves it, shaking the bed, and violently. Very crazy scene, very impactful part. Definitely like that scene. And then my second favorite scene in the movie is the opening sequence in Iraq. I like the Iraq opening scene. I know many people do not like the opening because they think it takes forever and it's boring. It's only 8 minutes, not like fucking 15 or 20 minutes. Like it's a good 8 minutes scene. It's not even boring. It goes by real quick. It's a really good scene, and my second favorite scene is of course the Iraq because I like how creepy and eerie it looks. Some of the looks to it sets up like the movie. But when Karis, we're introduced to Marin, Father Marin, played by Max von Sydow, in convincing makeup and very creepy stuff that he finds, like weird archaeological faces, statues that he finds, especially the Pazuzu statue face that he finds in the dirt and stuff, buried. And it's very creepy. Like there's a really creepy atmosphere throughout that scene, especially when he goes to the courtyard to have a drink on his break. There's like people staring at him very creepily and very eerie. It's just so creepy, man. Like fucking creepy as fuck, dude. Like there's like two guys staring at him, and even the waiters like looking at him all scared. Like you could tell that he noticed that Karis is like Marin is like looking at something like very disturbed. Like he looks like he's seen a ghost. And yeah, and then he goes to the because we keep hearing this fire noise, and then he goes and sees, and it's like this welding. Three guys are welding the metal and stuff, and it sounds like war. It sounds like war noise, like Pazuzu is preparing for war, and it's like very creepy. And one of them takes a break and takes his hat off to wipe the sweat, and looks creepily at Marin, but one eye is like blind, which kind of resembles the eyes that when Reagan has is floating in the air, and the power crash compels you scene happens. Very creepy, eerie metaphor to that scene. And it's supposed to metaphor where one eye is blind, like pretty much like the evil side, and then the other side's normal, like the good side. So it's like kind of like a metaphor to that too. not just only the Reagan possession thing, but also a metaphor to real life emotions where you got the split personality of the evil side and the good side, which kind of resembles a bit of Nefarious a bit, because that has the personality of the devil and then the convicted murderer that's innocent and wants to not die. Yeah, that's a very creepy shot. And he goes to leaves the library because he meets with his friend and says goodbye, and then he goes through the court, goes through the areas in the Iraq. He goes through a shoemaker place, and then he walks by a few figures, robe figures that are just walking by, and black robe figures that look creepy like demons and stuff. And they're not even staring at Marin and stuff when they're walking by. Even like a person is on a roof staring down at Marin, and I don't know if it's a guy or a lady or a woman. I couldn't tell because it doesn't, because you can't really see the person that well. But the person's like weirdly like staring at an angle at Marin when he's like walking and stuff. And as soon as like he's walking by, you could tell the person just moves away slowly, like when his presence is shown. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a metaphor that Pazuzu's having his demons looking at Marin and stuff and keeping an eye on him or something. And then he's almost run over by a carriage, and then you got like a creepy old lady that's like in the carriage that almost ran over Marin. And yeah, definitely a creepy part. And then Marin goes to meet this to find the statue of Pazuzu, and he does, and it's a very creepy statue. And then some dude is behind him that moves rocks and scares Marin for a second, and turns around and sees this dude standing in like a position where he's ready for war, with his hands are on his waist, and you could tell he's like, I don't know if that's supposed to be a good person or that's a metaphor of a demon that Marin keeps getting stalked by people and looking at. And then you get the metaphor of the dogs with white and black, where it's like the good and the evil fighting and barking and having like the creepy dog roaring in the background. And even got some more added new music to it in these two versions, like the extended versions. You get new music added to it too. Definitely a creepy, also a bit underrated opening, because a lot of people seem to shit on the opening for some reason, but I enjoyed the opening. And number one, my favorite scene from the film has to be Kara's dream. After he has grief about his mama's passing, he goes and meets up with his friend. I think it was his friend Father Dyer. He comes to his room and has a drink with him, and he's all in pain and grieving about his mama's passing. Then he goes to sleep. Dyer says goodbye to him and turns off the light so he could go to sleep. And as soon as Karras is like sleeping, you don't see Karras is talking, but only his snoring and his breathing are only heard, with a creepy, eerie music playing in the background. And all in all, he's like seeing all this weird stuff in the dream. Like he sees like the Saint Joseph and Pendulum necklace that's falling down. It's like kind of metaphoring that he is losing his faith. That's why it's falling down. And also a bit of a metaphor what happens to him at the end. But on you see a flash of a devil dog, a black dog. That's pretty much like a metaphor of the black dog that you saw in the Iraq, where it's like the evil, like pretty much the evil dog running. And you see a shot of his mama in a dark room, kind of like the same dark room as Pazuzu's face is seen. That like she's trapped and alone, and Karras was never there for her, so that's why it's kind of metaphoring that she was alone. And then the clock is like the same clock that you saw in The Exorcist. I mean, the opening of The Exorcist in Iraq, where Marin sees that his time's gonna be up. It's like the same thing for Karras. His time will be up soon too. And then he sees his mama coming out of the New York subway stairs, and then he's like far away. He's like waving for her, like yelling her, calling her mama. And then she's like yelling at him, Dimi, Dimi, Dimi. And then like no dialogue. They're just, you can see that they're yelling, but no dialogue, but just eerie music in the background with Karras's snoring and breathing in the background heard. And then you get a flash of the demon Pazuzu's face flashing, that the Pazuzu is haunting his dreams. And then you could tell Kara's is like trying to get to his mama, but he can't save her because, in metaphorically, like when you see in the story that he didn't save her because she's already gone, she's dead. And he's like trying to get to her, running, and he's like yelling at her loud, like trying to get to her. But you can see a shot where she's like stepping down to this back to the subway station stairs, like she's going back and descending into hell. And he's trying to get to her, like really, like running really fast. And yeah, it's just a very creepy scene. And then the pendulum hits necklace of the St. Joseph pendulum, hits the rock, which is like when Karis' sacrifice and his redemption happens at the near end. And it's very, very metaphorically dream sequence, and definitely a disturbing sequence too. Like definitely the creepiest part of the movie is the Karis' dream. No music, no loud noise, nothing to make it ruin the scene with stupid eerie like jump scare music or something like they would do nowadays, with that stupid shit what Blumhouse would do with that jump scare bullshit. No, it's all very subtle. It's very quiet. It's very eerie. The only music you have is like this creepy score that's playing in the background, and Karis is breathing in the background, and you can tell he's calling. You could tell he even kind of moans the word "mama." Like you could tell because he's also having the dream as well. Because in the dream he's running to his mama, and he's trying to get to her, and he's like yelling her out loud, and she's descending to the stairs. Just a creepy, eerie scene. Definitely my favorite scene of The Exorcist. I just love that scene. And yeah, that's my 5 favorite scenes from The Exorcist, folks. If you've never seen The Exorcist, definitely get a shot and watch it one day. Or yeah, get a chance to check it out. It's gonna come out on September 19th, 4K UHD Blu-ray. Yeah, definitely pick it up on 4K, folks. And it's gonna include the both cuts, theatrical and extended director's cut version. Yeah, and that's my 5 favorite scenes from The Exorcist. This is a great film, directed by William Friedkin. Rest in peace, William Friedkin, and written by William Peter Blatty. Rest in peace, William Peter Blatty. Even rest in peace, Jason Miller and Max von Sydow as well. Yeah, this is a great film, and I know the new movie's coming out, but to me, fuck the new movie. But I'm still gonna check it out. But all in all, this is a masterpiece and a classic film. Take care, everyone. This is June of 2000. Subscribe, like, and take care and comment, folks. And have a good day, folks. Take care.